What up, y'all? It's DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
And this is another edition of Pillow Talk with the Casey crew.
Welcome.
Yes, and like I told you guys, our nanny's not here, so getting this show out on Sunday is very difficult. Monday morning, very difficult.
But it's still Monday, so happy Monday, beautiful people.
Yes, happy Monday. And our nanny will be back shortly.
You talk about nanny being gone incessantly.
Yes. Because she's not here, and the other day I tried to cook something and I almost blew up the kitchen.
Dude, why did I have to find out about that on Instagram?
I mean, I tried to
How bleeped up is that?
But didn't I clean it up before
Why didn't you call me and tell me what happened? Because you didn't want to hear a ton of I told you so's.
Exactly. So it was cleaned up by the time you got home, right?
It was definitely cleaned up.
That's all that matters.
All right, high five on that.
There you go.
High five on that.
I need the nanny back. Irma, hurry your ass back. But let's get the show cracking, all right?
All right.
Let's start off with Bill Cosby. Mm-hmm. Now, if you don't know, of course, Bill Cosby was found guilty of 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault on Thursday for drugging and sexually assaulting a bunch of females. Now, he's 80 years old. He faces up to 10 years in prison on each count. So that's 3 counts. That's 3 counts. So it could be 30 years if he gets the maximum. But that's not what I want to talk about. I mean, if he did it, he should go to jail. But
before you say that, what do you think about the people that say that he shouldn't go to jail?
I don't believe in that. If he was found guilty, he should go to jail. I mean, of course, he'll appeal, and from that appeal, it'll be another case, and it'll probably be another 2-3 years. But if he's found guilty, he should go to jail. It doesn't matter that the crime was committed 14 years ago. Mm-hmm. This is not something where he stole a car and kept it moving. Right. This is not where he spray painted on somebody's wall. He sexually assaulted
it's crazy.
A person, a female.
I'm shocked,
and he should go to jail for that.
That there are people that believe that he's guilty. They believe he's guilty, but at the same time, they feel that he shouldn't do jail time. I was actually listening to Wendy Williams' Hot Topics one day while I was getting ready to go out. And she's one of those people. She believes that he shouldn't do jail time. He should be on house arrest of some sort with an ankle monitor or, something like that. And I listened a little bit more because I was curious as to why that was her opinion. I didn't really get a good enough answer or anything that satisfied me, but he raped women.
Right. He
that was their choice was taken away from them.
And I know some people said, oh, back in the day, everybody was using, what is it? Quaaludes? What is it?
Quaaludes.
Yeah, everybody was using Quaaludes back in the day.
No.
That doesn't make it right.
It might have been a thing, but if a person is given Quaaludes against their will or they don't know, meaning that they are drugged against their will, then their choice is taken away from them.
Right.
And if they are knocked out and someone sexually assaults them, then that is rape.
Absolutely.
Period.
Positively rape. Yes. And he should go to jail. Even if he's 80, if he's 90, the last bit of years that he does have should be in that cell.
Exactly.
Because it's fucked up. There is no way in hell you should give a female a pill and that knocks her out or puts her into a space where she doesn't know what's going on or makes her drowsy.
She's in
and
a
you
fog.
rape her. No fucking way.
Can't tell you no. Some of these women were completely out. They woke up realizing that they'd been sexually assaulted.
Absolutely. And I get it. And I get a lot of people, a lot of females probably went to see him because they thought it would be a good opportunity to get in a movie, to get on a TV show, but they didn't expect to get raped. And the fact that he did that, if, he was found guilty, but the fact that if he did that, he should be in jail. I don't care if he's 85, if he's 90, the last years of his life should be in that motherfucking cell.
And I'll say this. I don't believe in women using their sexuality to advance their position as far as their career is concerned. I don't believe that. But women do that. And men use things that are advantageous to them to gain positions in the workplace as well. But with that being said, if a woman goes to his place, his apartment, his hotel room or whatever, them being there doesn't mean that they ask for it.
Absolutely not.
It doesn't mean that they're giving consent to have any type of sexual episode with him whatsoever. No. It just means that maybe they might be trying to sway his opinion or get into a position where they're in his good graces or something like that. And it's their right to do that.
Right.
It's their right to do that. I don't like that idea personally, but regardless, he has no right to do anything close to what he's done to them.
Absolutely not at all. No, not at all. And he should go to jail for it. But the question is this, and this is what I kind of be like, because we talked about this a little bit before. Now that he was found guilty, what happens from there as far as his TV shows are concerned? Now, do we continue to watch his TV shows? You know, is it one of those things like R. Kelly where we're not supporting R. Kelly anymore because R. Kelly is a pedophile? I'll say alleged pedophile, you know, and now people are saying, well, we're not going to support him. We're not going to play his music because we know who the type of person he is. You know, R. Kelly made positive songs. He made Hero. I Believe I Can Fly. He made those positive songs. Now,
Hero. What song was Hero?
I think he did Hero. One of
How
Heroes.
does Hero go?
I don't remember. But anyway, he made positive songs before.
He may have. I don't remember a song called Hero.
But now when it comes to Bill Cosby, he had the Huxtables. You know, he had the Cosby Show. You know, and from that show, he was Heathcliff Huxtable, and he was a positive role model to a lot of African American families.
A lot of families, period.
But he was a dad to a lot of black kids because they looked up to him. You know,
Right.
The fact that he put a positive image of black families on television was something that wasn't done. And not even that, he had a spinoff show that was all about college. That was the reason why I wanted to go to Hampton.
HBCU.
Yeah, that was the reason I wanted to go to Hampton University, because Hillman was based off of Hampton.
Right.
And when I seen that, it made me want to go to college. My parents never went to college.
It made you want to go to college, or it made you want to go to a historically black college?
Both.
Okay.
Both. It made me, because I'm looking at it, I'm like, they look like they're having fun. They're getting their education. The grill is this. And it was based off the Hampton. So when I went to Hampton and then seen that, I was like, wow, this is what I've been watching all these years on television. So now, what do you do with this programming? What do you do with Fat Albert? What do you do with all those shows that show such a positive light on the African American black community?
I'm going to be honest with you. That's a tough one for me. It's a tough one for me. You never want to support someone that has done such a wrong.
Right.
You don't want to give them any kind of support. But at the same time, back then, that show was unique in and of itself in the fact that it was probably the only black family show on television. I don't remember any others. And when you watched it,
I mean, it was Good Times. There was
Good Times,
back
which
in the
was
day.
A little bit before that.
Red Fox. I can't remember what that was.
But that wasn't a fan.
Sanford and Son.
That was a comic. That wasn't a family show.
It was just Good Times, I guess.
It was really just Good Times,
Right.
I believe. And then there was the Jeffersons, but that wasn't a family show. That was a husband and a wife, and then there were other characters and whatnot. Yeah, but that wasn't a family show.
Right.
Its roots wasn't based on family.
Right.
You know? But the Cosby Show was. It was two professionals who were both obviously educated, who were raising a large family, and all of the kids were like different ages, and you got to see them go through their troubles, their struggles, growing pains, things of that nature, and you got to see how they parented them from a positive perspective. And watching that every day didn't give only black families a fantastic reference point, it gave all families a great reference point to say, wow, that may be how I want to rear my children, discipline my children, be an example to my children. So it was so positive, and it was funny, and it was cute, and it made you want to come back every evening to watch it.
Right.
Because he did wrong in the world, you can't take away the quality of that, because think about it. Since then, what black family shows have existed that were great? Like right now, there's Blackish. As far as reality shows, there was Run's House. There was T.I. and Tiny.
Steve Urkel had the show where it was a family.
Right.
Whatever that was called.
But there weren't too many. And right now, there aren't too many.
Just Blackish.
Right. So I know that the Cosby Show was rerunning for all of these years.
Right.
Has it been taken off the air yet?
I believe they pulled it off the air.
I heard that they did. I'm not certain that that's factual information, but I heard that they did. And I agree from one point of view, but from the other point of view, I do think that it still has so much to teach people. And it kind of begs the question, when do you separate the artist from the art? And some time ago, I don't remember if it was on Pillow Talk or on the Casey Crew podcast, but we talked about R. Kelly.
Right.
And me saying that I didn't want to support his music. But there are times where I'll hear an old song that brings back all of these nostalgic feelings.
Right.
And in that moment, I want to separate the art from the artist. Mm-hmm. And in this situation, I think it's a good conversation. It begs the question. I think that there's good and bad in both. What do you think?
I mean, I think there's good and bad in both, but I don't think you should take the Cosby Show away. That's my personal opinion. Mm-hmm. I just don't. I know what that show meant to me as a kid. Mm-hmm. And if it could mean to another minority the same thing that it meant to me, then I wouldn't want to take that show off of air. And I know Bill Cosby's a piece of shit, but Cliff Huxtable is a character that kids look up to,
right,
and that parents look up to. So I wouldn't want to take that show off. I mean, yes, I feel like if he did that, he's a piece of shit. He should go to jail. But now, as far as what the values the Huxtable show had, it even helps. It even helped me with how I raise our kids and how I'm a dad to our kids.
How? Tell me.
For instance, as a kid, I used to love watching. I'll say Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby have the kids play on his knee.
Oh yeah,
and him do the knee thing
where he bounces the knee, and he holds the back of it was Rudy. He would hold the back of Rudy's shirt and her little friend. I don't remember his name, but her little overweight friend Bud.
Right.
He would put them on his knee and bounce it, hold the back of the shirt, and then kind of let them go wibbly wobbly on the knee. We do that.
I've done that to Madison. I've done that to Logan.
Do that.
I've done that to Jackson. I've done that to London. I haven't done it to Brooklyn yet, but these are things that I got from Nair. You
and
understand what I'm saying?
There's another thing. There's a whole cast of people on the Cosby Show that all contribute positive things. He's not the only cast member.
Correct.
He's the main cast member, but I think that Felicia Rashad, her character represented so much to look up to as a woman, as a mother, as a wife. So you take away a lot by, in a sense, punishing him.
Right. And I never liked Bill Cosby, so I'm not going to sit here and say I liked him. I liked his show and I liked the character he's played. I didn't like him as a person because he always put down the young community for liking hip hop music,
for sagging their pants,
and things like that. And it just made him seem like he was an elitist, like he was better than everybody else.
Do you think that really meant that he thought that he was better than other people? Because I know a lot of older men, your father, for instance, that would criticize you for wearing your pants, as he would say, hanging off of your ass.
Right. And it's not that much. And
a lot of older men criticize hip hop music. There's not a lot. Listen, there's a lot of hip hop music that deserves to be criticized depending on where you're coming from. Talking about drugs and selling drugs and carrying guns and murder. And then there's obviously conscious rap music. And then there's, other kinds of rap music that either are just talking about real everyday life or positivity and whatnot. But it's definitely on the table for criticism. So I don't think that it necessarily makes you an elitist, if I'm being honest.
I felt like when he said it, he was talking down to our community. And this is the thing. And this is one thing I would say about it. I was trying to look it up right fast. But back then, I would say that when people look at younger kids and younger things that they do, they are very critical and very opinionated on what the young kids do. Mm-hmm. And my whole thing has always been, you were young one time and what you did, your mother and father probably hated, whether it was me listening to rap music, my parents never hated it. They never said, no, you can't listen to that. But there are a lot of parents that say, why you listen to that hippity hippity hip? That's never been my parents. Even with me sagging my pants, my parents told me, hey, I don't like it. I think you look stupid, but if that's what you want to do, do it. You know what I mean? And the same thing with our kids. Mm-hmm. Like Logan wears tight pants, tight jeans. That's the style. That's what all the kids wear. Mm-hmm. At first I was like, you look like a little girl. You want to wear your sister's pants? Mm-hmm. But that's what all the kids do, and that's fine. I joke with him, and he jokes with me about my stuff. It's all good. I don't criticize him. I don't think it makes him less of a person because of what he does.
But that's
their style. But
he
if
may
you
feel
do
strongly about, in that situation, I don't think that you can really get on somebody about their convictions. You know, I feel that when it comes to hip hop music, if a person is telling a story in a song and it involves drugs or guns or anything like that, that for me is okay. If a person is talking about their own authentic life experience in a song, to me, that's okay. But when a person is solely talking about gun violence and drugs and murder and whatnot, and the only reason is to do what they think is popular and what they think will sell records, I think that those people deserve to be criticized, and I don't support that kind of music.
Yeah, I think that's whack too, but that's a lot. That's a lot of rappers out there because they know that's what sells. And
I disagree with that.
That's whack, but kids follow that, and that's the bad thing about it. If Logan became a rapper and talked about selling drugs and having guns, it would be whack because
it would be whack.
Boy, you live in suburbia, like you don't know nothing about that.
No, rap about girls and
playing basketball,
and the type of food you like to eat.
Jumping on your trampoline. Playing football, riding your motorcycle.
Riding your go-karts.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
But back to Cosby, I just feel like that show shouldn't be taken off because it's such a positive show for our community. I don't think the show should be taken off. That's just my opinion.
Right. I think that in this case, there is no right or wrong. I think it just all boils down to opinion.
Absolutely. So what is your opinion? Take it off or leave it on?
I would say leave it on.
Leave it on.
Because I think that the good outweighs the bad. It's kind of like cutting off your nose to spite your face. Mm-hmm. You know, he would be the nose, and, you know, all of the values and the morals that the show represents would be the rest of the face.
Absolutely. Now, I hope they do leave it on. Our kids don't really watch it like that. But I would love for them to see it because I just think that some of the stuff that the Cosby Show was just amazing.
Well, our kids are a little bit older. For them, it would be difficult to watch the show without their view being tainted, like thinking about who he is and what he represents the entire time.
That's true.
I think for the babies, London and Jackson in Brooklyn, when she becomes a little bit older, without knowing the history of him and all the offenses that he's committed, they could watch it and, you know, absorb all the value and the entertainment from it. But the older kids, I don't know, they might be jaded because watching it.
Our kids love Everybody Hates Chris. Mm-hmm. And that show came out when we were younger, you know, and that was a show that showed a family and just the realness of a family. But they love that show. So hopefully they keep it on. Mm-hmm. Now let's get to the next topic. Let's talk Kanye West.
All right. What are your thoughts?
Now there's a lot on Kanye West. So there's a couple of things I want to break down. One, I want to talk about Ye and him saying that he supports and loves Donald Trump.
Okay.
Now, this is my thing about Ye and that. You know, I can't tell a man who to like and who to support.
Right.
But I don't like that he supports Donald Trump. And the reason I don't like that he doesn't support Donald Trump is I feel like, first of all, Ye has a lot of fans.
Right.
A lot of people that follow Kanye West. He's probably one of the biggest artists of...
He's a megastar.
He's probably the biggest artist of this generation.
What?
Absolutely.
Stop it.
Absolutely.
He's the biggest artist of this generation.
Hip hop, who else is?
Rashawn.
Who else is
Jay-Z?
No, Jay-Z's not this generation.
Jay-Z is still
not this generation.
Current.
No, he's not bigger than Kanye with this generation. No way.
With this generation?
With this generation, no way. No way.
Kendrick Lamar?
Not bigger than Kanye West. Kanye West starts trends as far as he's probably sold more sneakers than Michael Jordan this year in the last 2 years. Like whatever he wears,
I'm just talking about artists wise.
No, I'm talking about the whole thing. Like he demands.
I don't agree.
Absolutely. Kanye West was one of the first people to start wearing skinny jeans.
Who's a close second?
As far as, I would have to say maybe Kendrick. I would say Kendrick.
And who's
Kanye.
Third? I just want to know who's in the running.
As far as that type of artist, I would say.
And you mean rapper? You said artist.
Artist. I mean artist. Everything that they do have.
No, Rihanna. Rihanna's bigger than Kanye West.
I said rapper, but
no, you said artist.
Artist. I think Kanye West is bigger when it comes to.
You think Kanye West is bigger than Rihanna?
Now, when I say
you think
artist,
Kanye West is bigger, and you think Beyonce is past and not current right now?
All right. When I say a big artist, I also mean sets trends, have
Rihanna
kids
sets
following.
trends.
Name a
Look,
trend.
Fenty. Look at her makeup line.
That's great. But
bananas.
Fenty's not doing it bigger than Yeezy.
I mean, you're saying that. I don't know if you really know. I think that you think that.
I think Yeezy.
I don't know. Have you ever seen Fenty numbers? You could be right. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying we don't know.
But as far as the kids following and want to be like and want to dress like and want to wear like,
be like and want to dress like Rihanna.
I don't think so. I mean, they do, but I don't think it's the same.
I don't think really sets trends.
I don't think the same as Kanye.
Wise. I think she is one of the best performers that's ever lived. Trend wise, fashion wise,
I don't think it's bigger than Kanye.
I don't think Beyonce really sets trends fashion wise. I think Rihanna does. I think they're all very big in their own lanes, and some shared lanes. But
well, to my point, I just feel like these kids will follow the shit out of Kanye, and whatever he does, he has like a cult following of kids that will do.
A cult following?
Absolutely. You have never seen what goes on as far as these kids following his sneakers, following his clothes, and these sneakers are not cheap.
I know. I have Yeezys. I get it,
and he
but
sells.
I don't know, and maybe I'm wrong. I could absolutely, positively be wrong, but I don't quite look at Kanye West like that.
You don't, but the generation.
What about Chance the Rapper?
Not as big as Kanye West. No way.
But he's very big.
He's big, but he doesn't set trends. And
with the younger generation, you think Kanye is bigger with the younger generation than Chance?
Absolutely.
Okay, maybe. Maybe I just don't know.
But then with Kanye, I feel like with him almost solidifying and making Donald Trump okay in his book, I think a lot of kids will follow him and forget that that's the same guy that said grab him by the pussy when he talks about females. That's the same guy that made fun of handicapped kids.
Right.
That's the same guy that...
But hold on, did he make fun of handicapped kids or a handicapped adult?
A handicapped adult.
That is a big difference.
It doesn't matter. It's still a handicapped person.
No, it's horrible, but there is a big difference.
All right. And also didn't allow African Americans in some of his buildings because they were black.
Right.
So that's the guy that wants to build...
to rent apartments in his building, you mean?
Rent apartments, right.
I just want to be clear. Mm-hmm. You can think that you can't come in the door.
He might be like that too.
Uh-huh.
The same guy that wanted to build a wall for Mexico and deport immigrants because he says that there's nothing but thugs. Like, he's that dude.
Mm-hmm.
So why the fuck... There's nothing that you could say about him that says, I like him, I support him. There's nothing. There is nothing at all. So yes, it pisses me the fuck off that he thinks like that he doesn't think for the people, and I think what he's thinking about is, I get he's saying, okay, well, Donald Trump's not a politician and became president. Okay. I think he's also saying, well, I'm rich as a motherfucker and Donald Trump is making it easy for me for my business and do taxes. Okay, but that's not thinking for the majority of people. That's not thinking from where you came from Chi-Town, that Chicago, that dirt area, that fucked up place. He's not thinking from there. He's thinking more of an elitist place, and I don't like that.
I think you mean also that he's thinking from a selfish place. Mm-hmm. Like, how can Donald Trump's presidency benefit him?
Mm-hmm.
I understand what you're saying. I agree with everything that you're saying. At the same time, you cannot take away a person's freedom of thought and freedom of speech.
I agree.
And he has as much right to think what he wants to think and to voice what he wants to voice. There just happens to be a massive downside to that. And that downside is what you explained.
And I'm going to read some of the lyrics. Now, if you don't know, Kanye and T.I. did a song. It's called Ye vs. the People. And pretty much T.I. is the people. And it's Ye and T.I. rapping back and forth, right? So Kanye starts off. He says, I know Obama was heaven sent, but ever since Trump won, it proved that I could be president, right? So T.I. says, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. At what cost, though? Don't that go against the teachings that Ye taught for? He goes, yo, Tip, I hear your side and everybody talk, though, but ain't gonna go against the grain everything I fought for, right? He says, you just reading the headlines. You don't see the fine print. You on some choosing side shit. I'm on some unified shit. So T.I. says, it's bigger than your selfish agenda. It's your election ain't gonna stop police from murdering niggas. Then shit, this is, Ye, bro. I never ever stop fighting for the people. Actually wearing the hat show people that we equal.
I don't get that. Mm-hmm.
You got to see the vantage point of the people. What makes you feel equal makes them feel evil. So Ye responds, see, that's the problem with this damn nation. All blacks got to be Democrats. Man, we ain't made off that plantation. Right? So T.I. responds, fuck who you choose as your political party. You representing dudes just seem crude and cold-hearted with blatant disregard for the people who put you in position. Right? So he responds, Make America Great Again had a negative perception. I took it, wore it, rocked it, and gave it a new direction. So this is what tells me he thinks he's bigger than the world, because he didn't make it a new direction. He just rocked it, and we all said, you're a fucking idiot for rocking it.
I think that he thinks that he's so big, and I guess you think he's so big, that he can wear it without an explanation, and his whatever it is that he's trying to accomplish by wearing it, he thinks that people will just get it because he's doing it.
Right.
Go ahead.
Now, and then he says,
he explained it, and I still don't get it.
All right,
but go
ahead. I don't get it either. Right. So T.I. says, a lot of people agree with me, but they, then T.I. says Ye says, a lot of people agree with me, but they are too scared to speak up.
I do think that's true.
Mm-hmm. Now, T.I. says the greater good of the people is first. Mm-hmm. Have you considered all the damage and the people you hurt? Mm-hmm. You had a bad idea and you're making it worse. Mm-hmm. This is just as bad as Catholic preachers raping in church.
Whoa.
Right? Ye responds.
I would be offended if I was Ye with that one.
Yeah, I mean,
that's extreme. I don't know if that's so extreme.
All right. So Ye responds, y'all been leading with hate. See, I just approach it different. Like a gang truce, the first blood to shake the Crips' hand. I know everybody emotional. Is it better if I rap about crack because it's cultural? Or how about I'ma shoot you or fuck your bitch? Or how about all this Gucci because I'm fucking rich? Right? Mm-hmm. T.I. says you'll deal with God for the lack of respect. Starting to make it seem like Donnie cut you a check. Now you toying with hot lava. You better be careful with that. What's it mean to gain the world if you ain't standing for shit? Right? Mm-hmm. So, and that's pretty much the gist of it.
Let me tell you first the part that I really don't understand.
Okay.
The parts where, and I think there was two of them, where he's explicitly identifying with Trump.
Right.
Where's that identification coming from? I don't understand that.
Meaning what?
He said something to the effect of Trump being president gave me the impression that I could be president too.
Right. I understand that. Part.
Explain that to me, because I don't know. Like, Obama becoming president can give a black man the idea that he can become president too.
That's true, but also the fact that
he's
Trump,
just a regular person because he's not a politician.
Exactly.
That's the only level of identification
and
there.
The fact that he says what he wants and he's free with it. And
I thought it was deeper.
No. Just the fact that
maybe that he says what he wants.
Right.
He says what he thinks with no filter. F what other people think.
Right.
I'm going to say what's going on in my mind. If you don't like it, I'm not going to be vulgar.
Right. But fuck you. But that's what he's saying. But, how do you feel about him supporting Donald Trump? What do you think?
I think that it's his own business who he supports.
I mean, I know that.
I believe that everything that we think isn't meant to come out of our mouth.
Right.
I don't say a lot of the things that I think because it may offend people or it may be received poorly. I may pass somebody on the street and have an opinion. It doesn't mean I'm going to turn around and voice my opinion to that person because it may not be my business to do so, or it may just be a poor choice. I think that what he is doing is a poor choice, but you have to think about it from his perspective. He really believes what he's saying. So where T.I. is saying that you saying this, and it's kind of like what you said a little bit earlier, you saying this, you are harming the greater good.
Right.
You are giving young people the impression that it's okay. And it's detrimental to the future of the youth, etc. That's the idea, right? Mm-hmm. But from his perspective, he believes what he's saying. So he doesn't think. Like, that's not going to resonate with him because he doesn't think that what he's saying is harmful. He really thinks that Trump is a great president,
right,
and represents positivity and, reach for the stars. He really believes that. So that's never going to resonate with him.
Right.
Do you understand? These two men, and two men representing two completely opposite points of view, are speaking for two different portions of our society, each portion truly believing in what they're saying.
Right. But I feel that T.I. is speaking from a place of being on the ground. He's out there at these marches. He's out there, when African Americans or minorities are killed from police officers unarmed, and hearing the president say nothing.
Right, he's in the trenches.
And when they had that KKK rally and Donald Trump said those are some good people out there, like he's
Bananas.
he's on the ground. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's where he's speaking from. Kanye's in the fucking sky.
Right.
He's on the moon. So you didn't answer. What do you feel about Kanye's opinions on Trump?
No, I think you might have asked me, what do I feel about him voicing his opinions?
No, I want to know what you feel about his opinions now.
I think that Kanye is on a different planet. I think that what's coming out of his mouth politically is going to be very harmful, because I don't know if I agree that he has as much pull in society as you think, but you can't argue that he has a great pull and a great influence, especially on the younger generation.
Right.
And you know what? Even on his generation, and when he starts speaking from his point of view, the listener, even us, I'm listening to the song and my mind is turning. If you're interested, it's going to beg you to think about it, to at least consider what he's saying. And that's the flaw of it.
Right.
You're giving people an opportunity to even entertain what you're promoting and what you're saying. And for me, Donald Trump represents everything bad in our society.
Absolutely.
Sexism, racism. I hate how he feels about immigrants and people from poorer countries or third world countries. So I feel as though not only is he an awful president, I feel as though he's an awful person. So to have someone that does have social pull representing him and speaking on what he views as his attributes, I don't even like that crack for people to even entertain that he represents anything positive, because he doesn't.
And I feel the same way. And I feel like Kanye really needs to look at himself in the mirror and really do his homework and think about what he says before he's saying it.
So I don't like that he's doing it, but at the same time, I don't feel as though you can take away a person's free speech or free thought, because the same way that he's promoting Trump, if you think that it's okay to filter him, then it's okay to filter the person that is combating his thought and speaking against it. There should always be two sides of the fence, and people that are able to say what they want, and for people to challenge those thoughts.
Right.
So that's my feeling.
All right. Now, I want to go to one more thing before we get up out of here. I know this is a long one, but the name of his album, right? His album cover is, I believe it's going to be Love Everyone, right? Now, this is the picture that's going to be on his album cover, right?
Kanye?
Yes. You know who that guy is? I'm showing you a picture. You know who this is? You don't know? That picture is the surgeon that killed his mom. And he has that picture on his album cover because he's saying he's forgiving the surgeon, and he wants the world to pretty much start loving each other. And if you had a beef or problem with somebody, he wants you to pretty much forgive them and let it go. So he's saying he wants to start. So he has the actual surgeon that killed his mom, that did the surgery, the bot surgery that allegedly killed his mom, and he's basically saying he's forgiven him. What do you think about that?
I think that you can't take away from Kanye West that he's an intelligent man. Mm-hmm. I think that that's great PR.
Right. I mean, that could be his too.
And I think that the song that he released with T.I. I think it was brilliant.
Now let's talk about that. Though, what do you think? Now? Let me ask you a question. Could you do that?
Could I do what exactly? Ask me the whole question.
Somebody that did you dirty, or somebody that you did like to that degree, could you forgive them?
Well, I don't know. I remember when his mother passed away. I believed that she was having plastic surgery in Brazil. I believe that he didn't know that she was having plastic surgery in Brazil.
That's true.
Is that true, or am I confusing that with Usher's wife?
Oh, that might have been Usher's wife.
That might have been Usher's wife.
Yeah, that was Usher's wife. I swear. I think he did know.
Okay, but whichever way, I don't remember under what circumstances she passed away. So I don't know to what degree he's responsible for the death of his mother. Is it that she had a pre-existing condition that the surgery agitated and it led to her death? Was it a mistake that he made? Did he cut something wrong and she bled out? I don't know. So if he can look at it as a mistake or a pre-existing condition, an oversight that maybe the doctor didn't check beforehand, if you view it as a mistake, yes, it'd be a lot easier to forgive.
I believe it was a mistake.
It'd be a lot easier to forgive and put that person on the cover of your album to do some damage control when a good portion of the country despises you. I don't know. If you're asking me if I can forgive someone that's wronged me, yes, I can. Would I? Forgiveness is a tricky thing. You can forgive someone, relieve yourself of that burden, and move on and live your life without that load of hate on your back. But does it mean that I have to reach out and touch somebody's hand? No, it doesn't mean that I have to do that either. So would I put someone who was responsible for the death of a loved one's picture on my album cover, even if I forgave them? Probably not. And that's a choice. That doesn't mean that my level of forgiveness is any less than his level of forgiveness.
I mean, I couldn't. I wouldn't. I'm not that type. I'm not that godly as of yet. I'm trying to get there. I
don't think it's about godliness. That's not about godliness. That's a choice. That's not about godliness.
I can't even forgive the person that did me dirty. Like, I just can't. I can't.
Well, you have to work on that.
I do. That's why I said it's not godly. But right now,
that's just about forgiveness.
You're right.
And you need to be able to cleanse your heart and let things go a little bit more easily than you do.
You're right. Could you, though?
Could I do what?
Can you forgive somebody that did you dirty?
I've forgiven people that have done me dirty.
Okay.
I have. For me, I forgive before an apology. I forgive for myself, and I forgive because of what I believe in and my faith. I think that an apology allows me to forgive in a more full way, in the sense that I can entertain having that person in my life to a certain degree, depending on where they stood even before the offense. Do you know what I mean? So I've forgiven people for wrongs, and I'm able to see them somewhere and say hello and maybe have a small conversation or speak to them and genuinely wish them well. So it depends on their position in my life beforehand, but
now, I do want to say that let me just add this. The coroner found no evidence of problems with the surgery performed by Dr. Adams. They said that, however, as a result of the investigation, Adams said that he lost his business and his reputation was tarnished. You know, I guess people talking about it, but there was no evidence of problems with the surgery.
Well,
so, like you said, it wasn't.
That's my point. She could have had a condition that the surgery agitated. Exactly. Right. So his degree of forgiveness, like, the guy may not have even done anything to warrant any disdain or anything. So I don't know enough about it to speak on it.
Okay. All right. Well, I can't necessarily
But I think that it's smart that he's doing that.
I mean, I can't forgive anybody like that, but I'm going to work on myself.
I'm proud of you. You should. We're going to talk about it in a little while. We're going to talk about it and talk through it a little bit.
Okay. All right. Well, that is Pillow Talk.
All right.
We appreciate you guys for joining with us and hanging with us. And we'll see you in a couple of days for the Casey Crew podcast.
Yep.
All right. I'm DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
And that was Pillow Talk with the Casey Crew.
Toodles.